Most chicken owners will tell you that their initial chicken house and run was not big enough. Are you trying to decide what to build or to buy? I'm going to share my initial chicken housing mistakes. I'm not going to be telling you what exactly you should do. I'm going to share my experience, and hopefully you'll get some tidbits from that you can apply to your own circumstances, because everyone's circumstances and gardens and hens and et cetera, are completely unique and different. So I hope this helps get you started and get you thinking. Hi, I'm Beth, and weekly I share a video about my little flock of hens and my little garden in the United Kingdom. My channel is a great place for you if you're considering getting hens or you have chickens and you're not happy with how they've changed your garden. When we decided to get 3 hens, we looked a lot of different structures online, and we decided on one that was a chicken house that had an attached run to it. And this one was 1 meter high, 3 feet by 2 meters long, 8 feet, and it was like half a meter deep, about 2 feet. It's funny with the pictures, because sometimes you look at them and you see that structure size, you see it, and it looks like, oh, that's a 2 meter tall, 7 feet tall house, and then you look at the description and it's like half the size. Because sometimes these pictures are like photoshopped and they're not to scale in the garden or with the chickens that are with them. So it can be a little bit misleading. What didn't work for us about this structure, which I wish I had known initially, is something this size for our 3 hens was suitable if we were planning to only have them in the structure for early morning or evening, but the rest of the time they had access to a much larger space. But see, we had bought that with the plans of, we'll keep them in there most of the time, and then we'll let them out a little bit in the evenings when we're home or on the weekends. And that didn't end up being suitable, and I'll share a bit more why. That was my initial mistake, not knowing this, and otherwise I think initially we would have built a much bigger chicken run, or had made plans from the onset of knowing the hens were going to be in the garden and made plans to prepare for that to keep the plants safe. So that was initially our big mistake. So it didn't make sense that after we brought home the hens, then we were having to adjust our garden. Then we had to go out and buy even more materials that we didn't budget for, and had to put something together really fast to contain them into a bigger space. And it didn't look that great because we had to do it really quickly with cheap material. The reasons we didn't think this house and run was suitable for our hens is that within the first couple of days, they were like pacing like the length of the run. They're looking anxious, like they wanted to get out. They looked cramped for space. So they were trying, like if one hen was trying to get away from the others, there wasn't really the space to do that. And their attention was always like focused like outside of the run into the garden. Like they just wanted to get out and explore. We thought it might help to add a perch into the run, and that was a nice addition, but I mean, the perch didn't come with all these stimulating features that would have helped make it more like a chicken playground to keep that small run more interesting for the hens. And then also the structure was going to be moved around the grass, but then we made some upgrades to make it more predator proof. So we had to add wire mesh along the base and some breeze blocks. And then since we did that, it was not practical at all to be lifting and moving that with the wire mesh and the bricks, resetting that each time. So we stopped doing that. What we ended up purchasing, it was very difficult to clean the run because it was 1 meter high and 2 meters long. And so it was really straining to have to like lean like way over and reach really far, and you could only rake out what poop you could reach, and it was difficult to clean. So before the hens came home, we had this initial vision and plan, and then within a week, this is like why I'm like trying to stress my initial mistakes. Within just a week, we had to change stuff. So what we ended up doing was fencing off the small grassed area that we had, and so the chicken house and run that was within this new grass area, and they had access to that then for the whole day. And we added some, upgrades to that grass area. We put like a long perch there, a little chicken swing. We bought a hay bale so they could sit on that and peck and scratch at it. We put some potted plants in there that added some shade and some screening. And there was like a little pine shrub in the garden that they could sit under. They had space now to lay out in the sun. They could have a break from each other if there was a quarrel. So it was much better, but so different than what we initially planned. And that's why I want to let you know, like, if you don't want, I don't want you ending up in the same boat as me. Hopefully you can foresee these problems now that I'm sharing them. As an important side note, that little grass lawn that we put them in, all of that was gone by the very first winter. So that's another video. I'll put a link to the description of that below, so go ahead and click on that, and I'll see you over there.